Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, world. My name is Barrister Pink Republic, aka the Princess of Umuokpu Oka Anambra State. Today, we have a very special guest. But before we call in the special guest, hey, all those people that went to be doing all this kind of something, I heard that on Monday, that app crashed. Hey, how are we going to mourn? Because people don't learn sense. You don't have sense. If you have sense, you will learn not to be greedy. They played on your greed. You wanted more money. I think it's best. This is best. So you have to be very, very careful how you invest your money with all this Ponzi scheme. Oh, they say they will double my money. They will double my money. They will double my money. Have they doubled your money now? I've said it before. There's one I joined in the year 2000. They call them non-specto. I'm suspecting this same set of people, they are rebranding their name, moving from one place to another. But that is not our topic for today. Our topic for today, we want to talk about contempt of court. A lot of people will be asking, what is contempt of court? In case you don't understand, you want me to speak it in pidgin. I will speak it in pidgin, though, because it's like that one will enter your brain. But this contempt of court will be related to broadcasting. Because what I see nowadays is people talking anyhow about the judge, about the judgment of the court. Just in case you don't understand, if you want me to speak it in vernacular, let me speak it. I say, una when they talk anyhow about a judge and the judgment when he give, una ear need to be here for this topic. Because why? Contempt of court is of different type. Just in case you don't know, we have the one in front of the court and the one outside the court. They call the first one in facie courier, the one when happen in front of judge and even within the court premises. And the one they call ex facie courier, the one that happens what? Outside the court, speaking from one TV station, shouting, the judge is wrong, the judge is wrong. But what you people don't understand is that there are penalties attached to this thing. And guess what? Now you won't carry your mouth insult the judge. Now Oyibo, as per law, can say the punishment is at the discretion of courts. In case you don't understand what they call discretion. Now the judge go think when he look at you, maybe the way you set mouth for television, go say this one go 6 months. By the time on anga, no you go by the time when they for prison, maybe your brain go arrange. It isn't only civilian they suffer this one. Some judges, some lawyers go call for court. Yeah. Don't go there, hit hammer. Order. You get that? Yeah. Take him out. By the time he go stay one side, his brain go reset. But I don't want to talk too much, because I don't give you some intro about contempt of court. Now that thing where you use offend judge, now they go use against you. But today, I get one Ogbonga, correct, strong lawyer. The guy no be junior lawyer, that senior lawyer. You don't say for this our legal profession. They say those people don't see that gidigba. You know if you move them, you know if you shake them. If you meet them for court, they call them tiger. He even belong to one of our tiger brands. So they don't like a tiger, they call road here. That guy call road here. But his name is Atta McDonald's. The guy they very humble. Don't call him barrister. They cut the law. Me, I go school. I like the picture. My mom go say, it's not giving. I see that I never use the new barrister. Why am you not that school? But the truth is that he likes being plain is simple. So like I said earlier on, his name is Atta McAdams. Atta McAdams. So let us welcome him. If you're at home, start to the clap. Woo. So McAdams, you are welcome to the Pink Republic TV show. Start clapping. When this kind of people are clapping, you should be clapping. You're welcome.
All right, thank you.
To the Pink Republic TV show.
Thank you for having me on this lovely session.
Yes. So, you heard what I said, because I need to break it down for them. Because sometimes when you speak too much grammar, too much grammar. People will say, I don't understand. But they don't know that we lawyers, we have our own black law dictionary. That is where when you talk one Latin max, you will not say, hey, 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 hey. But that's why I had to break it down in the face of the court and outside the court. But as per a lawyer, but when we hear infashe Korea, we not say, hey, it happened in front of the court, but you around might not know what is it. But I want us to relate this thing to broadcasting, because I want to speak to other broadcasters, because it's like they are not listening. They'll be speaking about the judgment of a court as if they have the right to. They don't know that they might send them paper and say you have committed contempt. Oh yeah, come and cool your brain in that prison. But it's like our judges of today, they are lenient. That's what I noticed. It's like they will watch television and say, my friend, leave this one. Why? So I'm throwing that question to you.
Yes, like you said, there is a law that's given for people to speak.
Yes.
You have freedom of expression. It's part and parcel of your constitutional rights. Pursuant to Chapter 4 of the 1999 Constitution. And the fact that you have that right does not mean that you can use that right anyhow. You must narrow it down in such a way that it will not affect what the law has put on board. More particularly, you have a right to go on air and then express your opinion about a decision of the court or a judgment of the court. But however, let me say it again, you have the right to be on air, to air your opinion as to the decision of the court. However, that does not extend to you trying to demean the character of the judge, because there is a hierarchy of courts. Assuming an inferior court have given a decision, or a superior court, there are other higher courts you can appeal to. Not go on air and then you are exercising your right of appeal on air. The law forbids that. And then we have a court, like my colleague said, we have inferior courts and then we have superior courts. We have two species or two type of contempt of court. There is a contempt of court you commit in the face of the court. The court can punish you summarily or so motu. The court can sentence you instantly. But there are procedure before such can be effected. And then let me go further to say that even though you commit an offense or you run contrary to what the law has put on board as it relates to a pending suit in court, the court have power, assuming the matter is pending in court. And then after the court proceeding for that day, you step out of the court and then you are saying, oh, I feel that the judge is biased, the judge is this and that and everything. The court, after that particular day, can call upon you, can summon you so motu, and then discipline you, because it's a superior court of record. And once the matter is in court, both parties, whoever you call yourself, whether you're a party in the suit, whether you're interested in the subject matter of the suit, or you are even there as a reporter, you must report it in such a way that it will reflect the endorsement of the court. Not go and give it your own likeness interpretation per se. You must interpret it in such a way that it will reflect the decision of the court. Otherwise, the court have power to take upon you, and that is how it is.
So, what I like this topic you brought up is about interpretation, because I will use, for example, the LP, the Labour Party. They said they removed the chairman. All of a sudden, they say their chairman remains. So the interpretation now is like people are saying, I thought they've removed the chairman. Why are they saying their own chairman remains? What do you think about that?
You see, it's the media that is doing all these things. And this happened many years ago. Let me give you a practical scenario. Something happened last year, some time ago, wherein the Supreme Court removed some of those governors, about 6 governors, thereabouts then. The media now went to report Supreme Court sack 6 governors.
So sack.
There is a wall of difference between when you say somebody is removed
and sacked,
and then you now delve further to look at the reason and the genesis whilst those people were removed from power. So you don't just unilaterally, just like in labor law, you have dismissal, and then you have when somebody is terminated, the contract is terminated, and then when somebody is dismissed summarily. In the case of being terminated, such person is entitled to be paid his or her dues. But if you are dismissed summarily, you are not entitled to any benefits. Let us not delve into the aspect of labor law. But the problem we have in this part of the world is interpretation. You see, in the case of the labor law, the Labour Party you refer to,
yes,
that is part and parcel of the misconstrued interpretation we're having in this part of the world. People will always interpret the law in such a way that to favor them, and that's why the law give room for different kind of interpretation. But however, the literal rule must at first be given to the interpretation of the court, the literal interpretation. It is where you give the literal interpretation to the decision of the court, and then you can't get exact interpretation. That's when you resort to other mode of interpretation, the golden rule and the mischief rule, wherein you have to dig in so that you can get the purpose, the intention of the court for giving that decision. So you can see, I'm not surprised at what we are saying today as to labor law. It's not just narrowed down. It's not just narrowed down to Labour Party per se. It's all inclusive. Look at what is happening in Rivers State today, wherein the Supreme Court gave an interpretation as to whether or not a particular exercise needs to be done. And then PDP, then the governor gave an interpretation, Labour Party gave their interpretation, APC gave their interpretation, and the parties gave different classes of interpretation. But what we are saying is that we cannot continue to linger in these lacunas in such a way that we are giving our selfish interpretation to the decision of the court. Where the decision of the court is clear and there is no ambiguity, by all standard, I want to plead passionately that Nigerians should not interpret it with their selfish interests in such a way that it will favor them. That's what we're experiencing in this part of the world.
I would say Nigeria is in a state of confusion, because I remember somebody, immediately I got to the studio, somebody was shouting, now when the lawyers, they scattered the whole place. And I said, no, we are not scattering. We only view and advise our clients correctly. Sometimes the clients will force the lawyer to go and appear in court instead of trying to look for settlements outside the court. So now they give us food. That's what I answered the person. So in all these things we are saying, I see some people that have these round table discussions in their TV stations. And you'll be wondering, these judges, are they not watching? Or they just decided to ignore, so that maybe just let it be? Because I see people saying, if I were the judge, this is what I would have said, or this is what I would have done. So I want people to be educated through this video, so that by the time, even when they are called upon in any TV station, they will bend their mouths where they are supposed to bend their mouths, and don't just say it the way you believe it is. So how do you want people to avenge it and not offend the judge?
I think the burden starts from the media. When I mean the media in this sense, it entails the radio houses, the TV stations, and all other media atmosphere. The burden is on them to train. You must educate people about what they are about to start thereabouts. Because it's not enough for you to feel that you are emotionally disturbed about a decision of the court. What is important is that you must know that the judge is equally human like you, and they are tantamount to make mistake. And more so that you are there, you may be alien to what the law have put on board. And furthermore, the fact that you were not there when the whole argument between the parties took place. So you cannot, the judge who is in a position to form an opinion, have agreed with one of the parties, and because you feel that morally the judgment does not reflect the interests of the people, the judge is corrupt. You are insulting the judge as a corrupt judge, whereas you don't have any documents or any evidence to back up for it. You are just making mere accusation, which is bad. When you accuse somebody wrongfully, it's bad, and the law frown at that. So I think the burden starts from the radio atmosphere, the media atmosphere and all the parties involved, it beckons on them to educate their guests. You don't just invite people because you feel that you have this impression that this person is vocal, or you feel that he's an activist. Because of the fact that you're an activist, that does not give you room to come on air and insult the integrity of a judge that has a constitutional appointment, that owes a duty to the state to ensure that justice is being done at all material time. So for me, like I said, the burden is on them. And for the person that is coming on air, they should try as much as possible to get equipped as to the facts. You don't just read the facts in such a way that favors your interests or the person you love. Because you love party A against party B, you just come on air and then you start lashing on the judge because of the fact that you failed to agree with the decision. So I think it has to do with mindsets. People cannot just continue to come out and then without no altar of truth come out and then you start insulting the integrity. If you insult one judge, you are insulting the integrity of the Constitution. Section 6 of the 1999 Constitution empowers the judiciary to settle dispute between the parties. Parties entails you and I, parties entails you and the government, parties entails you, myself, my colleague here, and every other body against any other person that dispute may arise, as the case may be. So by all standard, we owe the states, the Constitution, that right to reciprocate respect for the Constitution. Otherwise, the provisions of the Constitution is not mere cosmetics. They are there to be strictly followed. We must respect the rule of law. We must give back trust to the system. And by respecting it, we do that by exhibiting and showcasing our commitment to the judiciary. The judiciary is human. I'm not saying that the judiciary is perfect, but let us know that the judiciary is human. They don't work in isolation of facts that are submitted to them. They use facts, they use law, and then they marry it with evidence adduced by the parties. And the resolution is being passed, and that forms a decision of the court. If you are not happy with the decision of the court, you appeal to the appellate court. The Supreme Court is the apex court. All appeals lie to the Supreme Court. And after Supreme Court, if you are angry with the decision, you appeal to God. There is nothing God cannot do. Or you can even pray to God and then go back to that same Supreme Court in certain situations. The law allows you in certain situations. You can go back to that Supreme Court and say, okay, this and that, and request from the Supreme Court to set aside the earlier decision. Is allowed. If God help you, you can get it. But if the Supreme Court said you are statute bar, you are caught in that way. That is how I feel. That's my impression about it.
So finally, because I remember when a guy was sentenced to death for stealing a chicken, and I see a lot of my fans coming to my inbox. Now when be lawyer, now no go one all those in a judge, So that brings me to the fact that why do you think? Because I don't want to be the only. I just don't want to be the only one saying no. It is only the evidence before the courts that they use in judging that matter. I would like you to explain to the public how these judges they arrive at the decision, because you just mentioned it at the end. But clearly, in that case of the chicken, before that guy was granted a pardon by the Osun State governor,
yes.
Why do you think that they arrive at that decision that he should be sentenced to death?
Well, the judge must have looked at all the facts put before the court. Like I said, fact is very important. And the doctrine of fair hearing is there. It's not just one-way traffic. He was given fair hearing to present his case, and then he presented his case, he raised his defense, and the case passed through the route, through the proper procedure, and the decision was made. So the court does not just look at one party and then form an opinion. They will call upon the other party, because a judge or any of the party cannot be a judge in his or her own case. Nemo Judes in Kakaswa. You can't be a judge in your own case. Adi Oteron Patem. You must listen to the other party. And that doctrine is not just for we humanity. It's there from the beginning of the world. Even when Adam and Eve, when they were wrong, God asked them. God was not judging his own case. He asked them, why do you have to do this? In series of what we see in the Bible and in the Quran, they are there. Nemo Judes in Kakaswa. You can't be a judge in your case. Adi Oteron Patem. give the other party fair hearing.
Yeah.
So in the case you refer to, the party was given opportunity to present its case. And based on that, the court look at the surrounding situation and the facts. Because morality and law are two separate things apart under our legal jurisprudence. So morally, you outside, you just have this impression that, oh, for stealing a chicken. The law did not define an offense or stealing to include whether you stole chicken
or not,
or apparently you went to steal an aeroplane. Stealing is stealing. It just, what is important is that the situation of the extent will come on board where the court may need to grant bail. The court will look at, oh, this is a very expensive offense otherwise, and then this one is a little bit lesser. The court will look at the situation before granting bail. But once it comes to the punishment for stealing is expressly stated. It's not at the discretion of the court. The punishment is a particular period of time, or in prison, or some situation option of fine thereabout. So for me, I don't think the judge, I literally, some people are saying by morality, the judge ought to have looked at what is it called? The fact that the offense is a lesser offense for chicken, just chicken. An offense is an offense. We do not promote and project.
And I believe, let me interrupt here, I believe death must have been established for them to sentence him to death. I have not read the charge sheet, but I believe somebody must have died. You know, sometimes in the process of doing all those things, you don't know that you must have pushed somebody, the person hit head, the person died. Death must have been established. That's what I believe. Even if the guy is innocent or not, I believe death must have been established.
Yes. So
for it to lead to death, it must be something grievous for it to lead to death. So sometimes all these our sentiments, I see people applying chicken. Even me, they just person chicken, talk less of human being. But you have to be very careful. We should not be encouraging people to just go into petty stealing and say, people will now say because of chewing gum, because of tissue. But stealing is stealing. That's how they categorize it.
Because he that can steal chicken today can equally come to your house tomorrow and rob you.
Exactly.
With a lot of
it progresses.
Is stealing. Because our conventional criminal system is different from what is obtainable under the Islamic law system, wherein there's some school of thought under Islamic jurisprudence. We have the Maliki school, the Hanbali school, the Shafi school. Some of the school of thought advocates that punishment should be accorded based on the peculiarity or the nature of the offense. So assuming you are involved in offense of stealing of chicken, your punishment will be lesser than somebody who went to steal aeroplane under Islamic jurisprudence. But the reverse is a case in our conventional system. The punishment is expressly stated. It does not give room for gambling. So I quite agree with the composition of all the facts that the judge look at before arriving at that decision. So we have to respect the system. We cannot continue to operate like we are in a banana republic. It's not acceptable. It's not done. If you don't have respect for rule of law, how are we going to stand? Then it becomes a monkey or banana republic, like I said. So we cannot go on air and then start blasting the system. And I do not narrow it. Let me not quickly narrow it down to the media team. I also want to extend it to our politicians. About last month, the governor of Rivers State, Sim Fubura, he came on air and then he mentioned the name of a judge. He said that fraudulent judge that gave that decision. That fraudulent judge. And this is somebody that is the number one man in the state who is supposed to be the chief advocate and to promote the rule of law in that state. And then he's making this kind of reckless and useless statements. No matter how defective a judgment of a court is, you as a politician, you as a sitting governor, you owe respect, because that office is created pursuant to Section 6 of the Constitution. The office that established the judiciary. And then Section 5 of the 1999 Constitution established the executive power. So you look at, they're all brothers. Section 4 talk about the legislative arm of government. Section 5 talk about the executive arm of government. And then 6 talk about the judiciary. And that is why if you go to FCT, Abuja, you see that the building are conspicuously within one area. You see Aso Rock, you see the National
Court,
Assembly, and then the Supreme Court. That's to tell you that both are to work together to form a serene environment for our system, not junketing up and down politicians and making statements insulting the integrity of the judiciary. Where is it done? You come out publicly as a sitting governor, and then you say that judge, that fraudulent judge that gave that decision, is too bad. Even in that matter, you have a right to appeal to Court of Appeal. And then you are insulting the Court of First Instance, where you can appeal to higher court and then Supreme Court.
Say the same thing you want to say.
Yes. So for me, I really want to say that our politicians need to do well. We cannot continue like this. The judiciary must be respected. The integrity of the judiciary must be restored. The judiciary is the last hope of the common man. Don't be discouraged by what people are saying outside. Where do you think you can get justice if it's not the judiciary? Are you going to go to Arara Market? Are you going to Okija Shrine? Are you going to meet the Hisba in the north that will not even give you opportunity to be heard in the first instance? So we must have that trust in the judiciary because it's the last hope of the common man.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this section. And I hope you've learned one or two things, especially all you that think that I now have phone, I'm not a broadcaster. We went through, forget I'm a lawyer, I went through like serious trainings one way or the other, because I started the broadcasting system, I just jam up. But when I met my first stop, they had to train me and tell me, oh, you have the face, you have the voice, you are very courageous, but this is what we expect from you. So everything is about training. And the good thing about this training of a thing, we are in the jet age whereby you can go to a link and learn how to do these things, and they will teach you how to do these things. Especially when you go on YouTube, they'll say how to put this thing. You just see somebody must have said one or two things as in regarding stuff. So I know it's a good thing. This is an opportunity for you to own your own platform, but does not mean you should not be responsible for what you say out there and what you put out there. I know nowadays the way people slam, they slam in millions, they slam in billions. You that have 35K account balance, you will not be saying anything anyhow. They'll sue you. They'll sue you. So the media platform is not an opportunity to start insulting people. It is an opportunity for you to grow funds. A lot of us make money online, and you can do same without stepping on toes. So thank you, but you have to join us for entertainment. I know you're not an entertainment person, you understand?
All right.
You people that are into core litigation, both of you, I think you are blindsided what you're going on.
No, I at my free time, I go on both cruise.
Watch.
I go on both cruise, and then I have my sport.
No, but when it comes to television and movies and all that, I've interviewed most of our friends, our colleagues, and they'll be calling old-time movie. I'm like, nah, this one is still on pause. So the Real Housewife of Beverly is being aired. It has been uploaded on Showmax, so you can go and watch it live. You can watch all, I think, even to the reunion. But the truth about this Beverly Hills, this season 14, is that I think they decided to concentrate on Sutton, because I noticed that Sutton has been latching on, though she has been the wife, a pitch holder, but she has been latching on other people's story. But this time around, the focus is on Sutton, and Sutton opened her world to everybody, how her father committed suicide, and how her mother is a narcissist. A lot of people don't know who are narcissists. Sometimes they might, no matter good you do for them, they just appreciate and just say, okay. So we now understand why Sutton was like that, as in she's so picky, the way she speaks. Even you notice that when you are saying something very serious, you just come and say, I know you are saying something, we need to move. And it's as if what you are saying is not serious, but I'm happy she opened up to people, and people now see Sutton for Sutton, right? And you know that her mother was not happy that she divorced Christian, that is her husband. That is Sutton. So what I want to tell you now is that I don't know yesterday, I would say on Tuesday, if that is the end of Wura, but Wura shot herself when she realized that she actually killed her daughter. To me, all this while she has been looking for her daughter, but she did not know that her daughter was just right under her nose. Wura is being aired also on Showmax, and I'm shocked and surprised that she killed herself. I thought that she would have run back to the house where she set Mumi on fire to find her, but to tell you that I think she was going crazy. She was going gaga. You understand? When you have killed and you escape, every time you escape, just give one kind pity press conference. Every time Wura escape. But she ended her life. It was too simple for a serial killer like that. But I just thank God. And I like the way, I pray to see Wura on Monday. Because why? Maybe somebody saved to me. I don't know. But I like the way Tumi responded to her stepmother when she realized that woman was not really her mother. I like the way, because she has been noticing it, that this woman has been taking side, and my word is not valued. This one, that one. But now she realized that this woman, you're not my mother, and now know my mother. Thank you. Even when the woman tried to apologize, I like her response to her. I just pray to see Wura on Monday, because the way it ended, I was shocked too. Wura just picked up a gun and shot herself. You can go and watch Wura. And if you have not watched Wura, you can use this Easter holiday to start from the beginning, because this is the 3rd season of Wura. And there's another one I told you about, Iyabo Ojo's daughter's wedding. It's tomorrow, April 17th. I don't know if they're not doing anything on the island, because this one they are announcing everything. People that they've not even invited will be like the one of Davido, where everywhere was blocked on the island. Hear me, if you are not doing anything on the island, don't carry yourself and be going there, so that you will not be stuck in traffic. But tomorrow, April 17th, Juice and Priscilla will officially tie the knot. Traditionally, like I said, they've been married before in Tanzania, but they're bringing it down to Lagos. Let Lagosians have a feel of her. Lagosians, we feel like party. I don't even know the color of their shwebi. That's the truth I can tell you, because they did not display. Because every day, Iyabo Ojo and Chioma, they'll be updating people that they've not added to the list. Every day they are updating list. Every day, hey, that hall is like National Theatre.
I hope so.
Because the way they are going about this thing. The Real Housewife of Lagos. The reunion, first part, we just watched it on Sunday. And most people that have Showmax can watch it on Monday, uploaded on Monday. But if you have the DSTV, oh my God, we can't continue. If you have the DSTV, you will see it written. I would say it's not. It's still a recorded program. But the reunion, oh my God, a lot of them started finding out that this person is not my enemy, this person is not my enemy. And I like the way Mariam and Diadem, they settled their matter. And everybody's still looking at Caroline. Caroline now is looking like the crazy person now, if you ask me. Then I want to mention, Laura, your dress is very beautiful. Your dress. I don't know if the theme of the reunion is queen or something like that, or royalty. You see, Laura's dress, this her blue dress she wore, is very, very beautiful. I must commend whoever made that dress. Guess what? I was making something similar. No, we have the same dress. Laura, we need to see. Call me. Then, what's the name of the butter? Secondly, your dress too. When you were walking in, you were really walking in like a real life, a real life Barbie. That cloth fits you like a glove. So we should not even forget the fact that there's an information about Little Nas. Little Nas down with his stroke. You know Little Nas. Anybody can not say. So he's down with stroke, and he didn't bent his face. That is Little Nas with a bent face. So I want to extend I will not use cordonless because it's not dead, it's still alive.
Yes.
Please take care of your health. Sometimes this is our health. They know how to give us signs, and we just overlook the signs, right? So then our popular Portable, Portable was arraigned in a court in Kwara. She was arraigned in a court in Kwara. So because of I think he insulted Saeed Osopa. So let me read the story. So just in case you don't know the foundation of that story, they say Portable apologizes to Saeed Osopa, shows off new look after release controversial Nigerian musician Habib Okikola, popularly known as Portable, has publicly tendered an apology to Fuji music icon Saeed Osopa following his recent arrest. Let me bring it up. What's wrong with the internet? Okay, let me go over to the other one. I think that's where I brought that one for me. So, earlier this week, Portable was arrested by the Kwara State Police Command over allegations including criminal defamation, threat to life, incitement, and conduct likely to cause a breach of peace. The charges stem from a series of online statements he made. Remember where we keep talking technically with their mouth because you have a phone, made about the veteran Fuji singer. The singer, who failed to meet the bail condition of 1 million and two sureties, one of whom must be the chairman of the Performing Music Association of Nigeria, PIMA, was remanded before receiving a lifeline. In a surprising turn, Saeed Osopa chose to withdraw the case on Tuesday after receiving appeals from several prominent Nigerians. In a statement, Osopa clarified that his actions were intended to serve as a warning and revealed that Portable was given 3 conditions for the withdrawal: to retract his defamatory statement, admit that they were false, and sign a formal undertaking. Following this development, Portable took to Instagram to share a video of his newly shaved head and offer an apology to the Fuji musician. "God bless you, sir. I am sorry, Bami," he wrote, expressing appreciation and remorse. So the only thing I will conclude with this show is that you have to learn to be responsible. What you put out there, what you say. Some people just say things carelessly. Well, have you thought of recording, then listening to yourself and say, no, I did not say this, and I don't think I want it to be out there. Sometimes they just record and just post. Please, please and please, we need to make the internet as sane as possible, because in short, sometimes this thing drives me crazy when I listen to them. There is one game I want you to watch this Easter. You might not be a movie person, but there's a game, I thought they call it the Millions or the Billions or so. You need to go and watch that game. You'll notice that some people, they always forget that they came to play game and start looking for who to do friendship. Okay, I have to round up now. You can see what NEPA has done to us. All of a sudden, they just off the light. This is supposed to be Band A. Our Minister of Power, Band A is not banding.
Yes, I want to bring to the attention of our viewers,
yes,
subject to approval. Maybe apparently we can come thereabouts by ending of this month or next month, and then talk about the right of electricity consumers in Nigeria.
That would be nice.
They should know, because it is not even supposed to be your right to pay for transformers. Yes.
So I would like you to come.
So we will come and then we can talk about it, so you know some of your rights are being played with. It's very, very important.
That would be nice. God bless you for that. So I want to say my goodbyes. Do you have any other thing to say then?
No, thank you for taking time to be with us, and then my privilege to be part of this lovely session.
Yes.
I'm very grateful.
Back then when it was live, it was easy for us to go around to 1 hour and let people understand. But because it's a recorded program, and before you upload, now the old data will just and it takes a long while for you to upload. So thank you all. We'll see you same time next week. Bye. Let's go.
Bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.
Your phone is still clear without...
We made it 38 minutes.